from Kim Dixon Creative. Welcome. If you're new here, would you mind taking a couple of seconds to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell icon so that you can be notified every time I upload new content. If you're not new here, welcome back, friend. Today's project is part of a hop that I am doing with a few of my friends for World Card Making Day. This hop is organized by Bug over at Mediocre Arts and Crafts. And we have no theme other than just make something that makes you happy. And I had a few products that I have not had the opportunity to use. Some I've had for a while, and some I have just recently received. And I wanted to make a card. I have some new Simon Hurley products. I have the new Plaid Builder red rubber stamp. And then back in the summer, I got the Pretty Peonies clear stamp, and I have some inks pulled out from Simon. And so I'm going to stamp up this Pretty Peony stamp. It's a multi-layer stamp, and so I'm not great at this, but I'm going to give it a good college try. And so I'm going to just stamp up this these two pretty peonies. But the images are very pretty, very pretty. So I'm going to stamp them up with some black out ink from Ink on 3 and get a good impression there. And actually, I didn't get a very good impression there, so I'm going to go back in and stamp it again. These are new stamps, so it's a little harder to get a good crisp image when you first get a new stamp. I know you saw me rubbing my hand over the stamp in the beginning. I was trying to get the manufacturing oils and stuff off. So now I'm ready to do my layering. And again, I'm new to layer. No, I'm not new to layering stamps. I'm just not very good at it. I've not done it enough to be very good at it. I'm going to go in with some Piggyback from Simon Hurley inks. And it's just a very pale pink. You really don't think you've got anything on your stamp until you put it down on your white paper. And so I'm going in with that Piggyback ink. I love Simon Hurley's inks. I had not used them until recently. I requested that as a gift and got it. And so I really like them. Now I'm going in with some Prom Queen, kind of rolling around the edges. Y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of rolling. I don't know what I'm doing. I've seen others to go straight to the stamp with stamp pad. And I don't know, I didn't have very good luck with it. You'll see in a minute what I end up doing. But I don't know. I gave it a try, and this did not work for me. Simon does it, but I mean, although he's young enough to be my kid, he's been doing it longer than me. That's terrible. And I saw that it was terrible, so I flipped over my cardstock, and we're going to start again. So I just kept the solid images in there because it doesn't matter what you layer first. And so I'm going back in with the Piggyback ink to get my base color of my flower. And if you see over to the right of me, I have some little, those are detailed stamping pads that you can get. And they're double-ended, so I can use 2 colors on them. And that's what I'm going to end up using to get, and I still didn't do a great job, but it turned out better than the first try. So now I'm going to go back in. I've got some Rosy Cheeks. That's my middle color, so I'm going to go with my middle color. And I'm just going to rub that. It's got just a little, the little felt pads on it like the stamping pads. And I feel like I'm not getting a lot of ink on my little blending brush there, but I am. Again, I don't know. I'm just putting color down. I don't know where it's going. I really, I want to try to practice with this a little bit more. I've got several layering stamps in my stash, and so I need to just get them out and play with them. So, so that I can get a little bit better at it. So here I go. I got that part right there is fine because to me, flowers, when you see them out, not only do they have shadows, so you're going to have some variation in the color just because of the light, but you hardly ever see a flower petal that is completely all solid one color with no variation to it at all. You're going to have lighter and darker spots in it, if nothing else. You may have different colors in it. And so that's where I go back in with my Prom Queen to get a little bit darker color, which, by the way, I love Prom Queen. It's my favorite. So, anyway, I'm decently satisfied with my flower. So I'm going to go back in and put my outline stamp down and get those lined up. And just so you know, I didn't get them lined up that quickly. I cut a lot out that you don't see. But, and I'm going to go back in and stamp the outline back down with my Ink on 3 blackout ink. And I'm using my little stamp tool that I made. There's all kinds out there right now that you can use and purchase. But I made mine a long time ago with it's just like a wooden furniture foot that I bought at the local hardware store with one of the little furniture felt pads that you put on the bottom of furniture to keep it from scratching your floor. And now I'm going to go in and layer in my green ink for my leaves. I've not moved my cardstock out of the MISTI. It's still in the same position. And so I'm just going to continue on. I'm just going to use 2 colors of green, and that one is, the darker is Later Gator, and I can't remember the name of the other one. I'll put all of them in the description box below so you'll know what colors I used, and give you some links as well if you want to purchase these. I really do like these inks. And I've not even touched the surface of what all they'll do. You can you can mix them with water and watercolor with them. You can you just do all kinds of things. So anyway, it's his inks are really great. So and I just got a little bit of darker ink on there to give me some variation. Now, I saved you the headache of watching this, but I fussy cut these out. They are not difficult to cut out. That's one thing about Simon stamps. Most of the time they're very easy to cut out, but they're still very pretty. So I'm taking my Memento Tuxedo black marking pen and going along the edges of my cut images. This does a couple of things. It hides that the white edge and gives it a more finished look. If you've cut too deeply in a spot, it gives the outline back. And if you've not cut deeply enough, it gives you the opportunity to make that black edge and kind of disguise that. So now I'm going to use the Plaid Builder stamp. I just love this. It's one of his new stamps. It's so cool. And I've taken the pad out of my MISTI because it is a red rubber stamp, and I'm just going to make a plaid design in the bottom left-hand corner, or the bottom and the left side. And so I'm going to use some yellow ink, and I believe this is Slippery When Wet, and then just stamp that down going vertically on my card. I did stamp it a couple of times. And now I'm going to put it going horizontally, same pattern, and I had some yellow ink still on my stamp, but you can't tell it when I get done. And I'm going to go back in with Rosy Cheeks and get some pink ink onto my card, and that's that's just pretty. And where the pink and the yellow meet and make that pretty orange, it's just, I love it. So I'm just going to arrange my flowers there in the bottom left corner of my card. Get them like I want them. And then I'll glue them down. And so I did not use any foam tape on this one. I meant to. I was going to pop up my top flower image, but I wasn't thinking when I arranged my flowers. I put the flower with the stem on top, and so there's no way to pop that little skinny, I mean there is, but I'm not going to sit there and cut foam tape that skinny. So I just went ahead and just glued everything flat down to the card. I don't know what's wrong with me lately. I've created all kind of cards with no foam tape on it. What's somebody needs to check. This card was really fun to make, and it's, I realize we're in fall, and this is not a lot of fall colors, but pink and yellow make me happy, and that was our theme, is to do something that just makes you happy, and so pink and yellow. And so I really like this as maybe a sympathy or just praying for you kind of card. And I have so many friends that are going through things, and so that's kind of what I wanted to use this card for. And so my sentiment is reflective in that. That stamp set that Simon created is really good for this. And the sentiment says, you are in my prayers. And so all I'm going to do at this point is just glue it straight down onto an A2 top folding card. And that's my card. I didn't even put any bling on it. Can you believe that? I didn't even put any sparkles at all. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. I hope this brought value to you and inspired you to create something. Remember, we are created in the image of God, and He created a beautiful world filled with beautiful people. If we're created in His image, then we should create beautiful things too. Thanks again for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.